Alright, I never really used this guitar much, but recently I've found myself leaning more towards it, and one big problem I've had is a lot of fret buzzing in this area, especially this area too. This never stayed on. I didn't really like the sound of the pickups, and the tuning was always out of whack. So, one thing I've done is, one reason the Gibson has a big problem with tuning is, you see how this angle's off? That creates drag here, and the friction will hold on to the string after you bend it, and it won't go back into tune. Also, there was a steep angle here where the holes are supposed to come out, but if you wrap them over, you get a flatter, less steep angle, and it just makes tuning a lot easier. Another thing I did was wound the strings to where they come out at the top instead of the bottom. That just creates a little less friction, and any little bit really helps. So inside guitars there's this thing called a truss rod. It's in here. I just finished adjusting it, and what the truss rod does is it follows the line of the guitar in here. It's a metal rod, and it chooses, like, if you need to bend the neck up in a little bit more, bend it out depending on the tension of your strings. I just put on lighter strings, which means there's less tension, so it was moving back a little bit. So since I needed to add more tension, I needed to tighten this, and now if you look at the ruler, there's no more little gaps there. It's not sticking out or bridging anywhere, so that's good. This guitar is now set up. Alright, so one thing about instruments is intonation. With violins, winds, everything that doesn't have frets, you can really just adjust it with either the way you blow, open your throat, or if you have a violin, you can just move slightly and you're good. But with a fretted instrument, it changes. So if you get this E, this E may be different. So this E is a little sharper than this E, and it should be the same. So the way we're gonna adjust that is we're gonna adjust these little screws here, and that move these little cradles back and forth. I have my very accurate tuner here. I play a low E, let it ring out a little bit. It's perfectly in tune. Now, if I play this E here, you can see it's pretty sharp. So what that means is I need to move this cradle back a little bit. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to get the string and pull it off of the cradle, and we're going to get our little baby screwdriver, and we're going to put it right in there, and we're just going to unscrew it. And when we unscrew it, it's going to push it back. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, so catch y'all on the flip. So the way we check our intonation is we play the low E, and we kind of get it more in tune, get a little sharper. Alright, and then we play our high E. Let it ring out. When you let it ring out, that's the most accurate. So we can see it's a little sharp, so that means I need to move that saddle back just a little bit more. Alright, so now, play that E, it's in tune. Play this high E. Oh shit, wait. What? Alright, and now it's a little flat. See, so it's very touch and play, half turn kind of things. So now, E, high E. It rings out to be in tune. There, yeah. So now we just have to do the same for the 5 other strings. So after quite a bit of trial and error, it's pretty much ready. Getting every note up there so that it doesn't sound so bad, because before it would sound very kooky, like very wrong. So when you get the nice intonation, yeah, it's pretty nice. This is the final product. Pretty much what I changed was getting these to sound correct, for the correct intonation. Another thing is I turn this around. Now this is a trick, because normally these little balls are up here, and that makes this a little too bassy, which I don't really like doing. So I flip this around so that it kind of has like a more dissonant sound. Put these here so that instead of coming in from the bottom with a very steep angle, they're it's a smaller slope. I kind of like the way it feels on the hand too when you rest your hand there. You leave it up here. I just changed the strings too. Again, winding it from the top so that that angle is a little less drastic, because otherwise it would be even lower. So yeah, kind of like what I did. I took off the pick guard because I think this looks pretty good without the little triangle that's sticking out over here. So if you have a guitar or bass at home, feel free to ask me any questions, or if you want me to make a little video on any problems that you're having, ways to check, how you can fix it yourself, or you can even bring it to me, or I can go pick it up and I'll make another video on how to fix your problem.